Hello to my subscribers and everyone who's watching this video. Today I'm going to talk about a sample library that's been in the market for a few years now. It's Berlin Orchestra Berklee, the orchestral tools. I only got it recently on their Black Friday sale. And first of all, this is not a sponsored video, but I made orchestral tools, and I asked them if I can make a video out of it and talk about things I don't like and things I like as well. And they said I'm free to review or make a video about it. My humble thanks to the support of orchestral tools. Now, there are many videos on how, where, and when it was made. There are many walkthroughs on. A lot of people know about it, and especially musicians. This is not a walkthrough. I made a piece entirely using this library. Well, actually more than 90% of it. Now that's because I used the Berlin Free Orchestra for some of the shorts of the strings and legato of for solo cello and solo violin as well, as it's still part of the Teltec space and well, more than that, part of the Berlin series. Also note that because there is only a solo tuba and there's no alto, I used the brass ensemble for the tubas, and I used the piano for this piece. But you get piano with the Berlin percussion, part of Berlin Orchestra Full and Pro. With Berlin Orchestra Max, you also get their Orchestral Grants library, which is a piano library. There's a link in the description where you can check Berlin Orchestra Full, Pro, and Max as well. Now, you don't get piano with the Berlin Orchestra Berklee. So to maintain uniformity, I wanted to use something from Orchestral Tools itself, and I auditioned two of their free SineFactory pianos. One is a ratio and the other is a spindle felt piano. I loved these both, and no qualms at all, but I found ratio too classical for tone, for this piece particularly. And spindle felt piano sounded beyond perfect, and it just mingled with the entire piece so easily. Well, let me tell you something about spindle felt piano. I think to me, it's the best free felt piano out there. And I think I haven't heard a free felt piano that's as expressive as this. I love this one than even some of the paid ones out there. If you're wondering where you can find these free SineFactory instruments, I left the link in the description. Now, coming to this video, how it works. Well, I'm gonna play the unprocessed version of the piece I composed using this library, followed by the processed version as well. Well, what's in process, right? The unprocessed version is nothing but, that I only use a basic low cut and a little boost of the bass frequencies for the bass instruments like, the low strings, trombones, tubas, and, timpani as well. And use overall gain of like a 3.3 dB to bring the entire piece to 0 dB, and that's it. Now, the processed version is that I applied gain of a 4.6 dB and had an EQ with basic low cut, and I cut frequencies around 234 Hz by 2 dB and at around 870 Hz by 4 dB. But you may think, well, that's a little too much, right? Well, but I did it, because I felt that it was like too muddy at that point. The processed version is still a little muddy, but much better. And I applied boost at like 14K by 2 or 2.4 dB. I used the Soft Tubes TSAR1 reverb, large hall setting with reverb time around 1.7 seconds. But only 24% of reverb mix, so with bright setting because I don't like it to sound too much red. And use just more than a little bit of Black Rooster Audio's magnetite, the saturation. And there's something I want to talk about, layering before I play the two versions of the piece. Well, depending on the piece I compose, I sometimes use solo instruments to layer on top of the strings. Well, that's quite, normal in many production, but I normally don't use, solo violin exclusively, but also solo cello as well. The reason is that in terms of stereo spectrum, if you clearly observe, the first violins sit around between far and mid left, while cellos sit around mid and far right. So my perspective is that using a solo cello, to layer on with the cellos, along with the solo violins, make the sound, even more balanced. Is that the rule? No, not at all. But that's just my perspective, and I like this way. Now, after playing the two versions of the piece, I'm gonna talk about things I don't like and things I like about this library as well, and my takeaway as well. Now, let's listen to the piece. First, here's the unprocessed version. You see? Now, let's listen to the processed version. Now that you've heard both versions, I'm gonna talk about things I don't like first, followed by things I like about this library as well. Now, coming to the things I don't like. Well, a few of the note samples of violas sounded weird to me. Like there's something going on. Like I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something going on. Like you can find that out in if you program fast notes for longs, like say semiquavers or demi-semiquavers. The legatos overall are not always connected right. Well, they do connect, but just not always. I don't know what's the myth behind, it's significantly seen in woodwinds than in strings. Although now, this is not something that I don't like much, but I would take a serious consideration. This is that the mix position for some of the instruments sound like they're too much close, as in dominantly close, like kind of mix of different mic positions. Now, the things I like about this library, the overall tone of this library. It was recorded at one of the best spaces in the world, the Telex scoring stage. It's kind of home for most of the orchestral tools libraries, and I love the tone of Telex. Now, the woodwinds, they are very, very lively, and whoever they hired, I must say, did a pretty damn good job. Kudos to them. As a matter of fact, because of the expressiveness and lively tone of this woodwinds, I may go ahead, buy one of the Berlin woodwinds libraries sometime, as well, maybe in future, yeah. And now the harp, it has a very lovely tone, and the mix is very much perfect. The brass is something I was kind of surprised because it was really, really punchy. I can't believe it, and it's still that punchy. Because I've seen people talk about their Junkie XL brass being so punchy, heroic. Maybe I don't know, because I haven't watched many videos of Junkie XL brass. I don't have it as well, but this was surely punchy to me. And on a note, I didn't use any legatos for the brass. Now, the percussion. What can I say about percussion? Before getting this library, my most favorite percussion has been from the East West Quantum Leap Symphony Orchestra. Now, the percussion in this library, without doubt, has become my second favorite. I love the tune and untune as well. Not one so far. And then, last but not least, the sign player. I understand it's not as flexible as contact, but it's not a lowdown, I'm telling you. As a matter of fact, I feel it's simple in terms of usability. Now, a takeaway from this library. Well, is it a starter library or a complete professional library, or most sophisticated to play with? Well, let me tell you something before I answer that. Now, every musician who uses sample libraries have their own kind of workflow, and so do I. I can be satisfied with just about 2 articulations for shorts and 2 for longs, including legato and accent, or 2 for and pizzicatos, for strings, and that's just enough. But why is that? In short, I mostly rely on a score, and I work on from there. Now, to me, this is not completely a pro library, but this absolutely not a starter library. But that's just me. I don't know about you, but what I can say is you can't rely entirely on this library if you're writing orchestral music. But it's worth purchasing. You need to know why and how you want to use it. There are other libraries from orchestral tubes I love, when listening and watching the quarters, like Berlin symphonic strings, and particularly their concertino strings, also Sangara. Do I have this? Well, no. But I may get these sometime. I don't know when, but yeah. Hope you like this video and give an idea of what Berlin Orchestra Berklee can do. Give a like and subscribe to my channel if you like to see more content like this. You can also support me through my Ko-fi page. Link is in the description. I'm Vivaswan, and this is my channel. Goodbye.